Welcome everyone back to Pommy Knows. I hope you're doing well. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe. We are smashing them out at the moment. I can't thank you enough for all the support. And we're here with the third final of this final series. I am super excited about this. And we move on 3:20 Saturday, Arvo, MCG, St Kilda versus GWS. In what is probably the most evenly matched of the two ties. St Kilda, they really have probably surprised many, I would say, and probably GWS as well. Not many people had them in the 8. Sick for the Saints, 3 out of the last 5, 13 wins, 10 losses, identical record, and an identical last 5 from GWS. And GWS really have come from nowhere. Their seasons are polar apart. St Kilda were high-flying at the start, and GWS came late, cementing their spot officially in the last game of the year and could have usurped St Kilda had results and scores gone their way. But let's look at St Kilda. And what do we know about St Kilda? Obviously, when you look at St Kilda, no surprise. Just 71 points a game, the number one, the top. Right, the number one hardest side. Do you know what I mean? They're top 4 for points against and turnover and clearance, and just 20% of the opposition's inside 50s become a score. Their ability to generate inside 50s from the back half as well, they're second in the league for that, and they are a very dangerous side at executing the basics, as you would expect from a Ross the Boss side. They are rigid. They are an incredibly rigid side that don't move the ball massively at high risk. Everything is a percentage play, a very controlled side. And that probably is their negative. They don't score enough. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? They have one of the worst abilities at scoring inside 50 and one of the lowest percentages of opportunities taken in there. Their efficiency is the question, but like we said, a very high handball inside, but they do kick enough as well, especially over the last 5. That has been something that they've started to work in, and that is because Ross really understands the strengths and the weaknesses of this side. And people criticize it, but you know, when you come into a team, you've got to play the players in a system that works for you and them. And that is something that Ross does really well. 75% disposal efficiency. And again, the 51.2 inside 50s. They're safe. They're a safe side. They ain't going to hemorrhage it. And when we talked about the inability for teams to score in clearance and turnover, it's because of how rigid they move and how safe they are. Just under 80% rebound 50 rate, a real strong defense, as you can see. Cal Wilkie deservedly in there. The question mark for me was Tom Stewart, but I thought Cal Wilkie, I'll pay that. 14.9 meters gain, and this is what we're saying. They're not a super offensive side. They always have one mind of defense, and it's interesting. In most sports, defense wins championships, they say, and that is it. Breaking even on contested possession differential. Clearances, -4, which again makes the lack of scores again so impressive. The 26% of the time marks are taken inside 50. Probably says a lot about no Max King. Tim Membry's been out for a while as well. So with them coming back, that should structure them up quite well in the terms of that they're going to have some bodies there, whether it be Membry and so on and so forth. The tackles, as you know, they're a very rigid side. They're very strong in and around the clutches. Big staple of that. The basics are important for Ross. That is what he does. And the chance creation, 45.7% of the time, they do get an avenue to go. GWS, on the other hand, what about them? Again, 55.1% of the time, they do kick. And this is one of them things. They've just conceded since round 13, 69 points. They're the hardest side to score against. 32% of the opposition inside 50s is, again, one of the lowest in the AFL. It is the lowest since round 13. And they are top 3 for pressure. They're a real strong pressure side, and they are the most direct side in this. They hit the corridor hard. Their weakness has always been centre clearance and centre bounce differential. stoppage. That is the area for them. But Kingsley, genius, shortest avenue to go is straight. Straight line is always the shortest, and that is what they attack. They attack the corridor very hard. And what is impressive from that is people have talked about their turnover differential. Again, you're going to hit these forward presses, and this is the antichrist of the forward press. 72.3 disposal efficiency. They've got very talented players in and around that midfield and some very good users. Players like Kelly that can make the unimaginative imaginative. You've got players like Caniglio who can change the game. Toby Green in there as well. You've got a host of players that can really hurt you in opportune moments. Callum Ward, players like that can really look at getting you on that counter-offensive very quickly. 76% rebound, 50 just under. No surprise. And one of the biggest shames this year is Sam Taylor not named in the All-Australian. Mental. Him and Whittaker have been, in my opinion, with Cal Wilkie, the three best defenders in the league. And that is no surprise why. Again, 16.2 metres per game. When they hit hard and they get the numbers. Plus 10 contested possession differential. Negative 0.6 clearance differential over the last 5. Marks inside 50. Again, not a big mark inside 50. They play them percentages though. And there's quite a lot of switches just before inside 50 for them where they change their angle. Probably one of the best sides in the league at changing the angles on entries. Very good around the ball, and 46.9% of the chances inside 50 become chances at goal. Now, let's look at how that goes head-to-head in the last 5. Obviously, as we discussed, even though they're a large handball side, they have kicked a lot more St Kilda in the last 5 weeks, which is probably where their form's gone on. They have been forced. People have taken the short option away from them, and that's something that GWS will do very well with their press. Disposal efficiency slightly in St Kilda's favour, but inside 50s massively in GWS's favour. The rebound 50 rate, obviously the back line at St Kilda does hold up better. Again, more direct to GWS, more proactive, more contested, and more clearance gives them that edge in the clutches. Marks inside 50 rate, as you would expect, St Kilda ahead. Tackles and chance creation, you're splitting hairs about. And what does that mean in the quarter matchups? When we go head-to-head, what does that look like? St Kilda have won a staggering 4 out of 5, and that is what you'd expect from a first quarter from Ross. They set the standard. They set the benchmark. And this is a great game if this was a boxing contest, because as you can see, that flips on the other end. Nearly 100% apart from that draw in quarter 4 to GWS, 2 to Saints. They haven't quite run the game out well. In the middle, almost even. So it's the good start versus the good end. And in the end, St Kilda slightly have the edge. 12 quarters out of 21 in the last 5 versus 11.5 out of 20 for GWS. And this makes it really interesting, doesn't it? It makes it so exciting when you think that one side prides itself on the start, one side canters. And that is going to be in the middle grounds. That battleground there in the midfield is definitely going to be where this game takes it. And what does that mean when we look at these sides matched up? Obviously, St Kilda's defence versus their forwards, St Kilda have the edge, but then you can see GWS have the clean sweep. The midfield advantage, their forwards, and their defence versus St Kilda's forwards and clearance and stoppage. And it's a very small margin of 5 points. Now, I actually go against the prediction here, and I actually think that St Kilda will edge this in a final. I've just got a sneaky feeling. Call me crazy, but I do just think that this is going to be a sneaky change in the game. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a really good game. And this is the game that I'm probably looking forward to the most. So let me know in the comments who you think is going to win this. Good luck to both sides, obviously. I've got a bit of an invested stake. My missus is a big St Kilda fan, so good luck to both teams. I'm on the Saints train for this one. Let me know who you are. Much love. Pom out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad.